So the first thing I want to talk about with the 4-2-5 Ring of Fire defense is I want to talk about who this formation is for. Okay. If you're in a league where teams like to run spread 2x1s, 3x1s, 2x2s, and they like to really truly spread the field on you, and they actually have the athletes to do it, and they do a good job at it, you may want to consider running the 4-2-5 Ring of Fire defense. Okay. Even if you are running this defense as kind of a supplement, right? Let me explain. So, as you guys know, I run the 4-4 Reaper defense as my base defense, right? And then I flex the defense into either a 4-2-5 or a 6-2 defense based on the team we're playing and what the offense is giving us. Okay. So for years, I ran exclusively the 4-4 Reaper defense. And then our league began to kind of change and became more run heavy. And that's when we start running the 6-2 defense, and we kind of start flexing it. I'm going to say this to you guys too. If you've never thought about this in terms of your coaching philosophy, right? I want you to strongly consider being a multiples coach. And look, guys, I want you guys to let me know in the comments, how many of you guys consider yourselves a multiples coach? It doesn't matter if you're a multiples guy on offense or defense. Let me know in the comments how many of you guys consider yourselves a multiples guy, okay? Because, yeah, I'm Coach Beast, and I talk about the Beast offense a lot, and I love the Beast offense, but I'm really a multiples guy, okay? Especially on defense. I love to be a flexible, versatile, and I love to adapt, right? I love to adapt to what the offense is showing us. Okay. Coach said, I'm multiple. That's what I'm talking about. Coach Lee says, I do run a variation of defenses. Coach Nelson says, I'm open to it this year. Coach Vincent says, absolutely. So guys, when I really began to embrace multiples, especially on defense, everything changed for me because it allowed us to not get stuck right into matchup nightmares, right? Because what happened was, and I'm gonna tell you guys how I started running the 4-2-5. So I switched leagues around 2020, 2021, somewhere in there. And in this travel league I was in, you had most of those teams running spread, and it was pretty good at running spread. And so instead of being in the 4-4 Reaper defense where we had 8 men in the box, and you could get burned in terms of matchups if you're going against a true spread offensive team. What I wanted to do was I needed a defense that allowed my best players to play in space and play with a lot more versatility. So I was able to run the 4-2-5 and really stop, getting really burned over the top, burned in space. And my players was able to really understand from a schematic standpoint how to play every area of the field. All right. So if you're in a league, guys, where teams are running spread and they're good at it, I'm not talking about these teams that run spread and don't know what the hell they're doing, right? Because you're going to have teams running trips and stuff. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't have the athletes. But then you got teams that actually do have those dudes and those athletes. And so, you want to have a defense that's extremely flexible and adaptable so you can really dominate and really avoid getting burned by any explosive plays. All right. So let's get into this. So first and foremost, let's talk about personnel. All right. So I use the same personnel that I would use in the 4-4 Reaper defense. Right now, for the sake of this, for the sake of the way the diagram is here in the playbook, the strong side, it will be on your right side, okay? The weak side on the left side. And it's really important that you kind of highlight that because I'm going to get into that in a minute. So what would typically be your outside linebacker, right? Your strong side outside linebacker, this guy would be considered your star, okay? And you could call him whatever you want, star, money, whatever you want to call him, right? We call him our star. And so this guy is probably going to be the best player on your team. He needs to be the best, like the most athletic. Let me be clear. You want him to be the most versatile, athletic defender on your team, okay? Because he's going to be doing a lot of flexing. All right. Same here on the defensive end. With the defensive end, you want him to be a dog. You want him to be a disruptor. You want him to be able to really kind of control this tight end, control the trenches, control the edge, right? All about edge control with this guy. Then our nose, this is like our most powerful guy, strong guy. Now, you're going to see in a minute when I break this down is that you can have this, your strong guy, or you can have him here as well. Okay, because with the way the 4-2-5 defense is, unlike the 4-4 defense, is that you got a coverage side and you got a run, basically a run attack side, or an edge. I like to call it an edge control side. Okay, this side is designed to really take it to the quarterback, the running back. This side is designed to really protect against a lot of coverages, bubble screens, and RPOs and quick slants and things of that nature. Okay, so I like my most versatile, athletic, speed guys on this side. I like my most physical, strong, beefy guys on this side. Okay. And it creates matchups, especially against teams who like to put their weak guys on this weak side. You're really able to get a lot of back end sacks and submarine around a lot in this defense while your other guys are putting in the work. Now, in terms of my middle linebackers, my Mike and Will, again, I like for these guys to be extremely smart. They are more, and I know a lot of guys like to put their middle linebacker as their best player, or the best player at middle linebacker, rather, right? I don't like to do that. I like to put my middle linebacker, he may be one of the smartest guys, but he's great with run support, right? He can help clean up plays. I like for my outside guys to really do a lot of the tackling and initiating the tackle. Why? Because most teams, y'all hear me say this just about every show, in youth football, most teams are going to run 80 to 90% of the time, okay? And then of that percentage, you're going to have another 80% going to run to the outside all the time. So you need to have guys that can control the edge. It is like extremely important to be able to do that, okay? Now, let's scroll down, and it's a reason why I haven't talked about the corners and the safety yet, okay? So in the 4-2-5, I really like my corners and my safeties to play cover 3, okay? We like to play cover 3. And one of the reasons why we love cover 3 in this defense is the team that we're playing has proven that, okay, they're trying to hurt us over the top. And I don't want my corners to get burned, one-on-one with anybody. I always want there to be help, okay? And so, we go into a cover 3 look, and we want to create a shell. And as we begin to go down here, you will see how we flex and how we maximize the shell in this defense, okay? This is very familiar to you guys. This is the Alabama Blitz. Now, we did a show talking about the 4-4 Reaper defense, and the setup is almost identical. You still have your middle linebackers blitzing that A gap, your defensive tackles hitting the B gap, right? The big difference is you got our star and our rover here. They're going to play more of a zone, okay? They're playing zone. So we're sending 6 guys instead of 8 guys. Now, in the 4-4 Reaper defense, guys, we usually send 8 guys, right? If we're doing the Alabama Blitz. In this situation, we're sending 6, right? So that gives us more versatility on the outside when we're playing these teams that, may want to run some kind of halfback screen. Teams love to do that in spread. And it's basically a long run play, right? They just stretch the ball out, throw it off to the off to the running back, and then they are trying to make a play with their speed back or with their guy, right? Well, we don't get stuck by blitzing the edge and then they throw it to the outside. We're gonna play zone. We're gonna have my guys play the hooks and curls, right, in the Alabama blitz, so we can keep everything underneath. Okay, this is why we call it the 4-2-5 ring of fire defense. Make sense? We're trying to keep everything underneath. If they pass the ball and they do a bubble screen or a halfback screen, or they try to do some kind of like quick slant RPO, we want guys out here in the second and third level that's able to keep the play underneath, while also sending our 6 guys or our 4 guys or what we send, depending on what we call, right, to do damage. That's how we do it. Same principle goes right here. Bama blitz. Only difference is you got your defensive tackles shooting the A gaps, your middle linebackers shooting the B gaps. That's what we're doing. On the backside here, same thing. We got our rover, our star. They're just playing the hooks and curls. All right. And then we got cover 3 on the back end. All right. So again, you can visually see what we're doing to prevent the big play. Okay. We want to prevent the big play. And again, guys, remember, this is youth football. So in youth football, what's so funny is you can kind of predict what offenses will typically do if they go spread. Okay. Usually they go spread. They're going to do the bubble screen. They're going to do the halfback screen. They're going to do some kind of wheel pass. You got to look out for the wheel pass with the slot. You got to look out for the quick slants with the slot. Okay. You gotta also look for the deep ball. That's the big one, because what they like to do is they like to get ISO, either with the X or the Z here. Okay, they want to get some kind of go route going, okay, or some kind of deep post. So we play again, so we don't get beat over the top. Okay, that's so important, and that's why we flex this defense, because if they do have a good quarterback, a guy who is a great either pocket passer or just a good dual threat guy who can throw the ball, you can get burned if you're sending too many guys. If you're sending 8 guys, you can get burned. So that's why we are using this, 4-2-5 defense to be able to prevent getting hurt in the passing game over the top. Y'all got me? Everything making sense? If it's making sense, guys, give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah in the comments if it's making sense. And also, guys, again, if you're watching this on Instagram, Q&A is about to start in about 4 minutes, okay? And I'm only doing Q&A on the YouTube side. So I encourage you to go ahead and go over to the YouTube channel. I'm going to put the link again in the comments for you. Boom. Okay. So I just dropped the link for the show and for Q&A. Go ahead and follow that link and come over so your question can get answered. So your question can get answered. All right. I see some hell yes. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And I also hope, guys, that you see how if you start the game in the 4-4 Reaper defense, right? And then let's say you playing a team that all they do is run the ball and they run heavy. You see how you can shift into the 6-2 Savage defense, right? And now you're controlling the trenches and you're playing gap control, right? And you're controlling the edges. And then if you're going against a team that is a true spread team or likes to play in space, right? You can actually pull back those outside linebackers and you can switch your coverages. And all you got to do is shift. Really, all it is shifting your outside linebackers and have them play different roles, right? Schematically. That's it. That's it. And that's the beauty of being a multiples guy. And that's why I tell you guys, if you're running the 4-4 Reaper, man, dude, that's great. I've been running it for 15 years, right? If you run the 6-2 defense and you love it and it's dominating, that's great. But you don't want to have a matchup nightmare and run into a team that's actually good at running the spread, right? Like literally, I always share the story of a team that won the championship in our league years ago. Shout out to the Northport Tornadoes. Their coach was, and check this out about this guy. This guy used to be a college football player, and he had a son that was at that time, his son probably in college now, but he had a son at the time that was 11. And this dude started the team and he was the only coach. Like, he didn't have no help, you know. I kind of started like that too, especially year 2 and 3. But like, this guy didn't have no help and he was whooping everybody's ass because he had players who was really good at running spread. And as a matter of fact, this guy was running RPOs. He was running RPOs when they just started becoming popular. And schematically, you know, we was running the 4-4 Reaper defense and we was getting burned on the outside because what would happen is, you know, we'll do like let's just say, for example, Bama blitz, and we'll have our outside linebacker blitz. And of course, as you know, with a rule with RPOs is if that outside linebacker blitz, you got the wide receiver on the quick slant, he should be wide open. And so they was tearing us up, you know, in the 4-4 Reaper deep, and really tore everybody up. They were beating everybody bad, you know, running spread, because in our league, nobody was really used to RPOs at the time. And I mean, this was back in, man, this was like 2010, right? 2011, something like that. And shout out to him. And they won 2 championships. And then I think the third year they got beat by a team that was running the diamond formation. And that team was like legit, right? I mean, that team was great on offense and defense. Don't get me wrong, the Tornadoes was good on offense and defense, but they was a little bit more finesse. That team that ran the diamond formation, them kids were dogs. Y'all hear me? I mean, straight monsters. But anyway, guys, back to it. So I want to kind of break down some schemes for you and some blitz packages so you can kind of understand the versatility and the dynamics of the 4-2-5 defense. Is that, see, we got something we call Reaper Blitz Strong, okay? What I love about the 4-2-5 is that you can really hide those blitzes really well. Now, you know, the 4-4 defense, we coming at you. We coming for you. Now, we versatile, but you know that we're sending 6 to 8 at any given time. Well, with the, you know, really with the 4-2-5, we may only send 4. We may send 5. We may send 6. We may send 8. You don't know. You don't know where they coming from either, right? So what I love about this defense is, as an offensive-minded guy myself, I love to have a field day in this defense, because kids who typically are trying to block, unless they are masters of blocking, like how I teach my guys how to block, right? And I tell you guys how to teach your kids how to block. Most youth football teams blocking is average at best, right? And a lot of them are taught to block the man in front of you or block the man on your inside gap or whatever, right? Well, with this defense, you can tell a kid that, and we may disguise a blitz. We may start manipulating the eyes of the offensive line, right? And before you know it, you got a kid coming at the quarterback or the running back full speed, untouched. And that's what you want. You want your defense end to flex in, or you want kids to loop in, or you want your middle linebackers to sail like they're blitzing the inside and bail out, right? It creates confusion. It creates a lot of problems. You know, like, let's talk about this. So we got the Reaper Blitz Strong play right here, right? And I love this defense or this setup because let's say you're going against a team that, you know, they like to just throw it off to the halfback, right? Well, one thing we like to do is we'll bluff. We'll bluff like we're blitzing, and we'll have our middle linebackers playing the seams. We'll have our rover playing the hooks and curls, looking into the flats right here. Then we still got cover 3 right here. And now one thing I teach my cornerbacks guys to do when we're playing cover 3, we don't want them to just blindly go back and play cover 3 zone, right? We want them to be smart. We want them to have eyes. We want them to analyze that wide receiver. You know, one thing we teach is if that wide receiver got hands up, he got hands up like he's trying to run block you, it's 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a run. If his hands are down, right, we're teaching our guys to, okay, now let's go back, let's play our zone, let's play our part of the field, right, our third of the field. And so that's what we do. So what we try to do is when these you do these halfback screens and things of that nature, he can get the ball, but we want these guys to attack and flow, right? Attack and flow. And that's how we keep everything underneath with different looks. And while that's going on this side, guess what? We may have a backside blitz here, okay? To where if this guy not open and that quarterback turn around to try to make a play, his clock is going to get cleaned. And we see it all the time. And I look for that hit, pop, right? We look for it. And so we got the same concept here, guys, even on the other side. Same concept, we just flip it. And that's the beauty too. That's a little different than the 4-4 Reaper. Usually with the 4-4 Reaper defense, whatever kind of blitz we do on the strong side is typically what we do on the weak side. In other words, you got mirrored action. Okay, you got mirrored action going on. Well, with the 4-2-5 Ring of Fire defense, you can really be diverse. It's not mirrored, okay? What may go on the weak side may not go on the strong side, and vice versa, all right? And again, it makes things hella difficult for the offense that you're going against because they don't know what the hell's going on. Usually those kids just don't know because they haven't been taught it, right? One of my other favorite ones is the Reaper Blitz. All right, the Reaper Blitz Wildfire. And again, with this one, we're sending 6 guys. A completely different look, right? We're sending both of our outside linebackers. And if you look at it, it kind of looks like a 6-2 defense, right? You're sending 6 guys, and then our middle linebackers, they're going to bail out and play the hooks and curls just to make sure nobody gets burned out here, and we still got cover 3 going on. All right. Awesome. All right, guys. So I'm going to pause right here. It's 6:36. And if you guys got any questions, feel free to drop them now. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to open it up for any questions you guys may have right now as it relates to what I'm going over or anything. Y'all know me. I'm here to answer any questions you guys may have. I'm gonna give you time to put your question. Now with my Instagram folks, we're about to cut off the live on this side. If you see at the bottom, I pinned the link to the YouTube channel. Okay, so if you got a question related to this defense, I encourage you to copy this link, move on over, and jump on the show on YouTube. And I'll be there to answer your questions. All right, guys, I'm going to end the live on Instagram now. See you guys on the other side. All right. Great question, Coach Lee. Do you travel with your nickel wind motion? I don't. Like we stay where we are. But we just stick to whatever our scheme is, right? So let me go to another play real quick to kind of break down what I'm talking about. Let's say they're running like a 3-by-1, coach. Let's say they're running like a 3-by-1, and we're gonna go down here a little bit. Yeah, let's go into the sky look. This is a perfect one. So let's say they got some kind of 3-by-1 going on offense, and one of their guys are going into motion here on the weak side. That's fine. Y'all do what y'all gonna do because we got our rules in place because we don't want to get manipulated or deceived or ISO'd in any kind of way, right? So like we'll go, if I see that kind of stuff, coach, what I'll do is I'm talking to my middle linebacker and my free safety, and I'm gonna say, Sky, This is my call right here. Sky. And so they know when I call Sky, they know their assignment, right? We'll have the rover and the star. They're going to play the flats, okay? We still got cover 3 over here on the backside. And now we got our middle linebackers, guys. They're playing the seams, okay? They're playing the seams. And one of the things that I teach my guys to do is look out for these pop passes. Look out for these little quick go routes. Look out for these slants, right? We're playing zone. And like if we go into the sky look, as you guys can see, we only send in 4 guys. We only send in 4 guys because we're going to go into this look, or if they're doing kind of they're doing different kind of motions and things of that nature. If they're like me, they're doing a lot of window dressing. So our job is to stay disciplined with what our assignment is. So we may go sky, and let's say they still try to run or do some kind of bubble screen or something. Everything's still underneath, right? We're not getting sucked into, these one-on-one matchups where we get hurt with angles and in these, nasty routes that teams like to run. That's a great question, Coach. All right, Coach Nick says, any suggestions on going from coaching middle to high school? Yeah, man. My best advice, Coach, is build relationships with the high school coach. Number one, like if it's a school you already know you want to coach at, build relationships with that coach, build a relationships with other high school coaches all around the place, right? Going to coaches clinics is great. The teams that you play, like build relationships with those guys. It's all about relationships at that level. And also be willing to volunteer at the high school level, right? I know like with a lot of middle school guys, they actually work on the high school, the varsity team as well, as a positional coach. So if you're able to do that, do both and got the time and availability, do that. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's all about relationships. Build as many relationships with other coaches, high school coaches. If that's what you want to do it. Like, take me, for example. Right now, I'm not planning on coaching anytime soon other than what I'm doing with you guys, right? I love coaching coaches. That's my passion now. I mean, me and Miss Beast just talked about it. If I accepted a coaching job at this point, it'll probably be a high-end high school coaching job or a college job. I got college coaches who follow me and all of that. And I mean, I was actually offered to coach on a college staff up in Indiana last year. And I declined it. So if I got back into coaching, it'll probably be, like I said, private high school, 7A or 6A high school, or college, whether it's community college or, D1, D2, D3. That's what I would do. Coach Jackson said, hell yeah, coach. I'm digging this the most. Man, I'm glad y'all liking this, man. I just want to make sure that you guys are understanding and grasping everything that we are going over, because I want to let you guys know kind of the levels, man, that y'all can play at. Y'all don't have to be stuck in, doing one thing, right? Yeah, we want to control the trenches, but we don't want to give up the big play either, right? We want to be adaptable and we want to be flexible, and we want to be able to really dominate the game on both sides, right? So that's what it's all about. And we're about to get started again. And if you guys got any more questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments, because once it hits 7 o'clock, that's it. Okay. If you guys, again, we are about to, in the OT coaches community, we about to really get in depth, right, with this kind of stuff. So if you want more of this and you like more of this, you want to join the OT elite coaches community. All right, guys. Vincent says you are a wealth of knowledge and willing to share. Man, I appreciate that. Yeah, man. Like, I'm gonna tell you guys why I'm so open to sharing everything I know, because I share this all the time. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have nobody helping me at all. I had to learn the hard way, not just even as a coach, but in my life, my professional life. Like I had to learn everything that I know in my life, like by myself. So you know how people tell you you need a mentor, you need to get a mentor, right? I'm not saying mentors are bad. I'm just saying I didn't have a mentor, and the guys that I did consider a mentor, you know, they were shitty mentors. They tried to use me in some kind of capacity, right? So me personally, I'm an open book. I have nothing, you know what I'm saying, that want to like, I don't want to hold nothing back if it's going to help you. I want to add as much value to you guys as possible because I know how it feels not to know something and you go through hell for a year or two and it's just because nobody guided you and they could have said something, right? No, I'm not going to do that to y'all. Like I'm going to share whatever I know to you guys so you can be successful. That's just how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Coach Nick says the middle school I coached at last year, it's a feeder school for the high school. So the best part is working with the same kids. Yeah, man. Honestly, coach, that's even better because you know the system, you know what the high school want. I would talk to the head coach and see if you can volunteer as a positional coach. Even if they just want you to be an analyst, right? Go ahead and get your foot in the door that way. And you give it a year or two, you will move on up. Or guess what? You're able to add that to your resume. You're able to build relationships, and then you're able to apply for other coaching jobs, you know, at other schools. And that's how you do it. And I'm going to give you guys a piece of advice that a seasoned coach gave me a few years back. Okay. He said, look out for these schools that got a losing culture. You don't want to get stuck in these schools because they're like a black hole. They will suck your career up and you will be worth nothing. Like they will tear your career up and tear your reputation up before it gets started. Like look for schools that may be in rural areas. You know, you may want to go to a school that's maybe the middle of the road type of school. You know, they may not be championship caliber, but they're not like straight trash. You know, look for a school where your reputation doesn't get damaged because hey, one of my closest friends is a high school football coach. And this guy, smart guy, great guy, all of that. And he took a head coaching job at a school that's straight garbage, okay, and been garbage for 20 plus years. And it almost ruined his not only coaching career, but his teaching career because the whole school administration on down was trash. So he was able to leave that place, go to a private school. I think he's a positional coach at that school, but guess what? They made it to the state championship. I think they won it. I have to double check, but I know they made it to the state championship at the other school. So don't be careful where you work. That's all I'm gonna say. Be careful where you work because you don't want to ruin your career before it gets started. All right. All right, guys. So let's get back to it. Let's see here. Good on time. We're great on time today. All right, guys. So again, like I said, you know, when we're running the 4-2-5, the number one objective is don't give up the big play, keep everything underneath, okay? Like it's a reason now if we're sending four guys, now of course, if you got four defensive linemen who are dogs and who can hold their own and get in the backfield, that's great. But at the very least, at the very minimum, let these four defensive guys just have gap control those freaking gaps, okay? Because if they're doing kind of some kind of read option or something like that, you want to have guys that's not getting blown off the ball but able to occupy the gap, okay? Like that's super important. I want to mention while everything's going on the backside here, okay? So let's continue on, and now we're mixing these concepts up, okay? So let's look at this 4-2-5 cover three sky Bama, okay? Cover three, they're going to play cover three, right? Then we're going into sky, so meaning we're playing every area of the field, but now we're doing Bama. What we doing with Bama? Can anybody tell me if I say Bama, right? What's going on? Let me know in the comments. What's going on? Y'all let me know. Whoever let me know what's going on, I may give away a free copy of this playbook. Who want a free copy of this playbook? I'm gonna give away a free copy of this playbook. I'm gonna quiz you guys a little bit to make sure we all learning, right? And then I'm gonna give away the playbook to somebody. X-Gun says me. Eric says blitz the B gap. The Ferminator TV says middle linebacker blitz the B gap. That's right. That's right. Michael says blitz. Hey is me says hey. Miss B says love it, babe. Oh, thank you, babe. Love you too, girl. Let's see. Eric says it's a B gap blitz, but I don't need it already. I got it. Got you, coach. Got you. Mike Nilsson says B gap blitz. Exactly. Glenn Jackson says Bama is the defensive tackles go first. See, Bama is the defensive tackles go first. Hey, break that down, coach. I want to see what you're talking about when you say that. Let me know what you're saying. Bama, the cornerbacks fall back to cover 3. Star plays zone since he's athletic, and the edge on the left applying the pressure. That's good. Very good, guys. Very good. You know, something that I brag about with you guys is that you guys are smart. You guys are very smart. Very smart. So, of course, if we got this going on with, you know, the 4-2-5 cover 3, Sky Bama, of course, if we do Alabama, right, the reverse goes on, right? The middle linebackers hit the A-gaps, blitz the A-gaps, right? That's how we do it. Now, here's another one. Check this out. We got the 4-2-5 man, Alabama blitz. 4-2-5 man, Alabama blitz. What's going on, guys? What's going on this play? Y'all let me know. What y'all got? Y'all quiet. Coach Jackson said linebackers in B and defensive tackles in A. You may be responding to that last play. Okay. Coach Nelson, middle linebacker shooting A gap. Yep. But what else going on though, Coach? What else going on, guys? 4-2-5 man, Alabama blitz. The Ferminator. The Ferminator. I like that a lot. My first year coaching, I went 0-7. My second year, I ran the 4-4 Reaper defense and went 6-1. You def know what you're talking about. Man, I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that, man. And congratulations on your success. That's how it should be, right? If you got a down season, you make them adjustments, you know, and then you dominate. That's how you do it. Hey, it's me says covered or blitz. Just by what you guys see, I'm gonna help you guys out in a minute. y'all stumped on this one. What's going on, guys? I'm gonna read this play again, okay? Before I give you an answer, all right? 4-2-5 man. 4-2-5 man. Alabama blitz. What's going on? Coach Eric says cover one with a gap blitz and outside backers on the hooks and curls. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But it's one thing everybody's missing. One thing everybody's missing. Coach Lee says this is a double A blitz. Defensive tackles take B gap, man across the board. Oh, should I get that to you? I'm going to get that to you. I'm going to get that to you, Coach. I'm going to get that to you, Coach. Do me a favor. This is what I'm going to do because I'm feeling really good and generous. So I'm going to get a playbook away to two of you guys in the chat. Coach Jackson, I'm going to give you the playbook. And Coach Lee, I'm giving you the playbook, the 425 Ring of Fire. Congratulations. Congratulations, man. This is what I need you to do. If you can, if you could drop your email in the chat, Miss Beast, take their email, okay? No, as a matter of fact, let's do this instead. I'm gonna put my email and just email me after the show to get your playbook, okay? There we go. So Coach Jackson and Coach Lee, just email me here to get your playbook, okay, after the show. And what the hell, Furminator, you do the same thing. You do the same thing, Furminator. Email me after the show. Congratulations, guys. Big congrats. Coach Brown said, congrats, guys. I just got the whole set for my team. Let's go. Shout out to you, Coach Brown. Awesome. Man, my pleasure. My pleasure, Coach. All right, guys, let's get back to it. So I think Coach Eric was the closest to this, okay? So, yeah, you got the Alabama blitz going on, right? Double A gap blitz. You got the outside linebackers playing the hooks and curls, which is correct. But then you got man coverage to the outside with the corners. And somebody mentioned cover one, too. You got cover one with the free safety, which is absolutely correct, okay? So we like to run this in a situation where we know the team may be a little bit more balanced, but they may be subject to, do some kind of short, screen or throw it in the flats or something like that. Again, me personally, I don't like to play man. Even if I got the corners who can play it, that's just me, okay? Now, if I got the corners that's really versatile that can play man, and I trust them to play man, we'll play man. But I like cover three so they can have that backside support, right? And we keep everything underneath, right? And we'll also do this where they run man, where, again, we know these guys nothing but blockers, right? And we don't want to go back and get burned to the outside because our corners are too far back or something like that. Y'all got me on that? So that's why I would prefer more of a cover three look opposed to man, but man is okay as well, guys, okay? I'm not, crapping on man coverage, but schematically, I like to play more of cover three, and then situationally, we like to do man, okay? All right, let me give y'all one more. Let's see here. And then here, guys, we got the Reaper Blitz Max, okay? And this is very similar to maybe the 6-2 defense, right? Or the 4-4 defense where we send everybody. We do some kind of mayhem, right? Where we know they got a weak offensive line. We just taking it to them. We taking it to them. So we may show 4-2-5, but as we creep down here, you see these little dots here? Boom, 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 boom. They just creeping down, and they shooting the edge, and we just going to eat. We pin our ears back, and we just taking it to them. Okay, guys? Then we have our Superman look, which is still, we got a double A gap. We got a double A gap blitz look. Now, if you notice, though, with our Superman look, you see the difference. Now you're beginning to see the rush side over here and you see the coverage side over here. Now we got man coverage right here, and we're sending guys. We're sending 7 guys, 7 this time, right? Again, we're pinning our ears back and we're taking it to them, especially if we know that they're weak. You know, we beat them up. They're just trying. They're desperate. They're just trying to make something happen. We're pinning our ears back and we're taking it to them. That's when we'll do something like the Superman double A gap blitz. Okay. And this is a big one. The 4-2-5 cover 4 shell. Okay. The cover 4 shell. So, guys, tell me what's going on in this play. Let me know what's going on here. 4-2-5 cover 4 shell. Nick says, off topic, how is the diabetes doing? Yeah, man. Man, it's doing great, man. I gave a health report at the beginning, and what I said was, man, the day is the best day I've had in a long time. I woke up this morning and I felt good. I walked, I walked like almost 3 miles this morning, and I went down by the lake. For you guys don't know, and I may actually have a show out here by the lake, but I got a lake out here. I stay in the lake house, so I walked down to the lake, and I just enjoyed nature, man, and just really took in just the beauty of everything, right? So I'm doing good, feel good. My body's recovering. I'm at 80% today, guys. I've been stuck at about 70, 75. I then bumped up to 80% today. So I'm doing a lot better than what I've been doing. So hopefully it's only up from here, brother. Only up from here. Dev says, I run the 4-2-5 defense going against a split gun and tight end and 2 wide receivers. Should I treat it like trips? You know, you can, but one thing that I like to really analyze, coach, is the tendencies of the team, because these teams will line up in that stuff and they just running the ball, trying to run out in space, and they trying to get your guys out of position. So I would say analyze it and test it. I would even say steal some of these concepts that I'm doing, mix up your packages, and see what they're. And this is a tip for all of you guys. See what core plays the team run, regardless of the formation they're in. Like give yourself about 2 or 3 series on defense to analyze what the team is doing on offense. Pick up on their patterns and their core plays, because that's going to tell you what they're going to be running 80 to 90% of the game. When they're doing these explosive plays and crap like that, that's only 10%, okay, of usually what they do. So find out what their core plays are, and then you're able to adapt and dictate what you want to do during the course of the game, coach. Awesome. If you ever need anything, let me know. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You got it. You got it. And the same thing goes for you guys. If y'all ever need anything, y'all know Coach Beats here, man, for you. Let me see. Okay, Coach Eric says, let's see here. You got 4 deep zones with the hooks and curls and flats with outside blitzing outside linebacker. Yep, that's right. That's right. Coach Jackson says Star is playing the flats. Let me pull this up. Nope, the Star not playing the flats, Coach. Look at that guy again. Look at that guy again, Coach. And Coach Eric says, or slot cornerback, depending on what you call your positions. Yeah. Yeah, like in this play, Coach, we got the rover playing the flats. Yeah, man. Like, do y'all see the versatility of this defense? Do y'all see all the combinations and things you can do with this defense? Like, this what makes it great. This what makes it dynamic. And this what really gives you guys a major, advantage, especially against these teams that's trying to act like a spread team and they're really not, right? And then we got our Thor Blitz, guys. Our Thor Blitz, and I'm going to be fast on this because I know we're getting to the end of the show. But with the Thor Blitz, we still got the 4 shell, right? We still got the shell. Y'all see that? We still got the corners, the rover, the free safety in the other corner or the boundary corner. They all playing, basically cover 4. And while cover 4 is going on the backside, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys going, right? And that's what we do. That's how we attack one side, right? And of course, with the Thor Blitz, you can attack the other side too. We just call it Thor Blitz Strong. Thor Blitz Strong. Y'all see that? I just want y'all to get a good visual. And then, guys, of course, we got the 4-2-5 prevent. We'll typically go into this at the end of the game. We're winning. The team we're playing against, they're desperate, and they're just trying to make a play, heave it up. Everybody's playing. We got. Let me just be more specific here. We got our rover and our star. They're playing the hooks and curls. We got our Mike and Will. They're playing the seams, of course. And then basically, you got the corners playing cover 3 and the free safety playing the middle third. That's it. And the last one we got here is strong zone. Okay, strong zone. And so with strong zone, this is kind of a more advanced one here. And you may not even ever have to do this, but it's a fun one. It's a fun one. So if you're going against a team and they like to kind of play quick game on you, they're doing some kind of some kind of hooks or, stick routes or something like that, you're not going to get burned, right? Like we're playing smart, or they like to twist these guys up, right? So they may try to do some kind of let's say quick slant right here, and then this guy is trying to wheel out. We're not going to get beat by that. We got help with the corners. We got the free safety on the backside with the help, right? Even if they try to cross this guy, right? Cross him over. He's trying to cross through the second level and kind of come over here. We got the rover back here playing the backside. Okay. This is one of these ones where, again, you're going against, like if you went against me, you probably want to run, this because we do kind of arrow routes. So we do all kind of stuff like stretching the field and, we got this deep crossing route. We do all kind of stuff, deep skinny post, right? You want to do that kind of stuff. Now, the only thing is just know that your boundary corner or your backside corner, whatever you want to call him, he's going to be playing man on man. So, make sure you got a good corner back here on this guy if this wide receiver has proven to be an actual wide receiver and not just a decoy, which 9 times out of 10, the kid is going to be a decoy. I hate to say it like that. Coach said, what would you do if they're running the wing T? If they're running the wing T, bro, I'm probably running either the 4-4 Reaper or the 6-2 defense. I may not even run the 4-2-5 against a wing T team because I understand like discipline is so important going against a wing T team, especially a good one. You got to make sure you hit them gaps and got gap control and you don't get burned by a buck sweep or, a fullback dive or something like that. Like you can play the 4-2-5 if you got those guys in the middle. I personally will run the 4-4 Reaper though, coach, or the 6-2 Savage defense for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, you're right, man. Like you could do if an offensive minded coach see that, you definitely can call a RPO, But like I said before, coach, I wouldn't run the strong zone unless I understand the situation. Like we playing good situational football, we'll be in our other core defensive plays in the 4-2-5. opposed to, playing strong zone in that particular situation, right? Absolutely.